thank you again for meeting with me. Now, in the first meeting, you expressed an interest in helping me with my Rank 1 coaching experience that would help provide instruction in your 6th grade math class. I need to remind you that some of these things we have to video. It goes for my online portfolio, and I think you're okay with that.
No problem.
I appreciate that. Today, I'd like to review some information with you and then kind of figure out what area that we're going to focus on. So for starters, can you tell me some issues that may be a concern in your classroom?
There are beginning to be some behavior problems in that particular class, and so I think having an extra person in the room would be a huge help. I'm glad to be in on this with you.
Okay. Can you give me some examples of?
It's not the major behavior things as far as fights and stuff like that, but there's a lot of people that tend to get off task, and by the time I stop and try to correct everybody and, join us and where's your pencil and do you have paper and we're not on that page, and
right.
Little things like that that are just sort of interfering with how instruction is going, and the kids that are trying to pay attention are kind of losing out because of all the distractions.
Right. Okay, so if I hear you, what you're telling me is you've got some kids that are kind of off task and it's starting to somewhat be disruptive.
Yeah, and it kind of snowballs when one person's off task, then you turn around and somebody that was doing good suddenly isn't anymore. And so it sort of, I don't know if they just model the bad examples or what, but it seems to gradually trickle across to everybody in the room.
Okay. All right, in order for us to come up with a plan on how to increase instruction time, I want to start off with sharing the Big Four. And part of the book talks about Knight's Big Four, and essentially there's 4 areas that you look on that you can improve in the classroom. Now, you kind of mentioned behavior, but there's behavior, content, instruction, or formative assessment. Now, I'm going to just give you a little brief. I'm going to read a question or two, and then we'll kind of decide which way we think we need to go with it. Well, on the behavior, what we ask is the behavior out of control? Is it an issue that needs to be addressed immediately? Under content, does the teacher understand the content? Have a plan, understand what's going on, what's the most important. Under instruction, does the teacher effectively model thinking, the process for the students? Does the teacher use cooperative learning and other activities to keep the students engaged? Formative assessment, does the students know what the target is, what they're trying to learn? Does the teacher use assessments throughout the thing and check for understanding? So now with me looking at all these information, I can sit there and, for example, formative assessments. While I've been in there, I've seen you use formative assessments. I know you check for understanding. I've seen the I can standards. So if just by checking these off, I could say I would probably eliminate number 4. Content. From what I can see, you're well versed in your content. You know your stuff. You know why you're teaching it to them. I don't see that as an issue either. So I would eliminate those 2, and then it would be behavior and instruction. Well, when I'm looking at the behavior, what you've told me, I don't think it's something that's so out of hand that immediately needs to be addressed. Now, if there's some snowball effects and things like that, but to me, it's like they're getting off task. So my thinking is it comes into here, if we can figure out to use cooperative learning or activities to keep the students more engaged.
Okay.
So, would you agree that that would probably be there? We try to.
Yeah, I mean, the behaviors, on most days, it's not an immediate, a major issue. It's just the little things. So some of this, cooperative learning and stuff might help keep them focused a little bit better instead of being off in their own little world.
Okay. Now, going over the TEL survey, which we just did this in our PLC a couple of weeks ago. But if you remember, I just want to hit on some of the high points. We had some strengths, we had some weaknesses. One of the major weaknesses in the TEL survey pertains to the use of time with regard to duties that interfere with educating students, as well as general use of instructional time. Now, we were 7 points or 7% lower than the state at our school, and the district was 12% lower when it comes to use of instruction time. So that kind of ties into off-task behavior. So I think our TEL survey with the Big Four instruction is kind of an area that we should focus on.
That sounds good.
All right. So what I need to do is I need to finish some of the information I've been gathering from your room. I need to go get find some more materials and strategies on active engagement and instructional time. And then we need to schedule a meeting again. Are you still available this coming Thursday after school?
Sure.
All right, I want to
Sounds
thank you again for meeting with me, and I'll gather some of this information and we'll move forward.
Okay, great.
Thank you for your